guys, it's Celine, Moon Goddess Tarot here with a new tarot card reading for you guys. It's going to be about why this person is in your life. I'm going to do kind of like a comparison reading. So one layout will be that person's energy towards you and your energy, and then a second layout for your energy towards that person. And we'll talk about how those two things can work together or not work together in your connection. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. It might take a little longer, so I'm only doing 2 piles today. I've got 2 new tarot decks I'm using. Todd Alcott is the author for both of these, and this one is the Sci-Fi Tarot, and this one is the Horror Tarot. I like both of these subjects, and since they're from the same author, I couldn't help it, and I got one of each, so there you go. So I am going to just go ahead and shuffle. I'm going to put the timestamps on the bottom. If you're new here, welcome. I wanted to just let you know that I do have personal readings available. If you want to go ahead and email me, and we can talk about pricing and the offerings that I have. Otherwise, you just like to come hang out and listen. Thanks a lot for stopping by. If you like what you hear or some of the videos on my channel, don't be shy, just subscribe. It's not going to hurt you to just hit the subscribe button or the like button or comment or whatever you wish. But any interaction on my channel helps my channel, so I appreciate anything. Let's see. Okay, so also if it's your first time, what you can do is take a screenshot or just pause the video right here and decide where your kind of energy is going towards as far as the connection of you and your person and what deck kind of speaks out to you. Like I said, this is the Sci-Fi deck and this is the Horror deck. And then go ahead and go to your timestamp and click on your pile's timestamp, because if you just listen, you're just going to see me moving the decks around and shuffling and all of that. So that's boring. But anyway, thanks for coming by. Let's go ahead and start these readings. Okay, pile 1, Sci-Fi Tarot. Let's check this out. Let's take an in-depth look at the connection between you and your person, and we're gonna just kind of get a view of the type of energy that your person has. I'll do like a row of cards here, and then we're gonna do a row for you, and then we're just gonna like look at both of those and see the dynamics between your connection, what's going on in the connection, or personality traits that might be blocking the connection, or that need to be worked on in order for better communication, or things to improve overall in the connection. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. There we go. Okay, pile 1's person. What's the purpose and energy for pile 1's person? Okay. Wow. Your person has strong energy. You have the King of Wands. Okay. We have the fast-thinking Knight of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups, which is a beautiful card about just, well, cups have to do with emotion in tarot, and it's all like wish fulfillment, your dream come true. That's why it looks like the Jetsons. I don't know if you remember that cartoon, depending how old you are, but like they're in their little spaceship. It's a happy-go-lucky family. Nothing's going wrong in life. Everything is good. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So we have 2 knights, Knights of Swords, Knights of Pentacles. Okay. So your person might be younger than you. They might have this might be a connection maybe with you and your child. Like if you have a young adult, teenager, or 20-something, this might be an age difference type of relationship. Or your person might have just a very, like, hungry for life type of personality where they're just, really want to live life. They might be really into sports. They might be really into competitive games, or they might do triathlons, or they might be very active in their life in general. But the energy that they have towards you is an energy of where they want to pursue you. So they might be pursuing you, wanting to date you, wishing to date you, having a crush on you, watching you on social media, because they might have all this energy, but they still are, when it comes to pentacles and grounded energy, they're looking like a knight, which is younger energy, less mature. But when it comes to passion, they're very mature and ready to go. They might be a very charismatic person too, charming, somebody everybody loves to talk to. So let's look at your energy. Interesting. Okay. One more card, please. Okay. Interesting. All right, so like I said, I think that you have more mature energy. I don't know if you are somebody that has a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot of hobbies, a lot of things that are demanded of you. You might have a job that demands a lot of you, like high profile, kind of like, a physician, a lawyer, or, scientist of some type of nature that way, where you just have a lot on your hands. A lot is being asked of you in your life right now. We have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, it is all about kind of like walking away from things that don't serve you. So right off the bat, and we have the Eight of Wands, which is fast-moving energy, and then the Ace of Swords, which is interesting too. I'll go into that more. You and your person handle things in your lives very differently. So I think that you pile one, are somebody that is a thinker. You wait to be inspired before you act. You might, like when you act, you take your time, like, and I'm saying that because we have the Ten of Wands, and this person's carrying this, like, I don't know, spaceship on their back, I think, and it is about endings as far as burdens that you're carrying. So but that takes time. Like when you think about, like, you're finishing a marathon, you're going up that hill, you can see the ending in sight, and you know that you're almost done. But I think that this burden that you carry is a revolving burden. It's not something that is one task that you're doing and then you're done. That's why I think, like, you might have a lot of responsibilities. You've been required to have a lot of responsibilities. And so with that requirement, you've learned to know when to hold them and know when to fold them as far as what you can carry. And you're not afraid of letting go of connections, walking away from situations or relationships in order to lighten that burden, with the Eight of Cups. Because the Eight of Cups is kind of taking a moment to take stock in where you're, like, how many people are you serving? Where is your energy being depleted from? And when you find that kind of leak, in the piping, that you go ahead and just, like, block that off and you walk away. You're not willing to tolerate being spread thin if it's not, doesn't have a high goal, yield a high reward. And then with the Eight of Wands, this is where I feel like that cutthroat kind of way that you live your life. You know when to walk away. You know when to rush forward also. You know when to rush forward. When you're sure about something, you rush forward. You don't hesitate. You just take time to figure out what that, to weigh the costs of whether you should do something, the pros and cons. And then once you do, there's no changing your mind. And with the Ace of Swords is a interesting card because swords are all about thought and intellect. It is about having epiphanies. It's about, you might have a lust for learning. You might have a lust, you love to read books. You love to be inspired. You love to create. You love to learn about things that you don't know anything about. Go down those rabbit holes. Those are the things that are really, really, that really kind of float your boat in that kind of way. So you might be more of an introvert, but you are not weak in any way of the word. You are somebody that is very solid and consistent and trustworthy. Whereas your person here has a lot of flighty energy. Like I feel like your person is somebody who is spontaneous, flies by the seat of their pants, doesn't really plan things out as well as they should, but they have all this lust for life. They have all this hunger for learning as far as like emotional intelligence and having charisma and what it takes to maybe inspire people. This person might be an entrepreneur or a leader, a young leader. So they might be somebody that maybe is finishing up college but is a part of a lot of groups that they lead, or within their whatever their employment is, they have different groups that they lead within their employment. So you guys are very different in that kind of way. You guys balance each other out, I would say, in that when we're looking at each card, you have the King of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So you guys both are very passionate people, but passionate about different things. This King of Wands is like the extrovert, passionate person. So whatever is inspiring to the King of Wands, and it's kind of might be like a selfish kind of way to look at it, but the King of Wands is somebody that is super charismatic, able to just charm the pants off of people. Might not keep his word the way he should, but he will if it's going to make him look bad, that kind of thing. A little bit of a touch of narcissism, I would say, but not a full-blown malignant narcissist, just somebody who is very secure in themselves and has no qualms about explaining how wonderful they are to people. Okay. And you are somebody that works quietly. You already know that about yourself, and you don't need to, toot your own horn as far as that's concerned. So in that kind of way, you guys are opposite. So if there is a way that your person can benefit you, is to teach you how to be more extroverted, to maybe put down some of these wands, maybe go down to the, switch it where your primary energy would be the Eight of Wands and not the Ten of Wands. And maybe look up from your book once in a while, right? Look up from the responsibilities that you have and decide whether these responsibilities worth draining all of your desire and energy away from you. Desire is I was meditating today, and that was one word that came up a few times for me. And I learned a little bit about it, is that, we grow up in kind of like a system where, things that are like desire, things that are, I'm sorry, I just realized these aren't showing up in the picture like I want them to. We're taught with desire that, desire isn't a very good thing. It's usually in religion, it's associated with coveting what other people have, or having desire to have sex, or having any, not having any idols, any idols of other things. That's bad too. Any kind of like things that you really hold close and dear to you, whether it be a hobby that you have, or if you like a certain kind of group that you want to join, or sport you want to join, or any of that. Like for me anyway, I'll say that it was like a negative kind of connotation with the word desire. And I just learned this morning that, really desire is required in order to really be engaging in life. You need to have some desire. You need to have desire to want to participate in your own life. Some people live their life in a very passive way where they're just like, whatever happens, happens. Some people, like your person, live their life very purposefully. They make very quick decisions, passionate decisions. They're the kind of person that wouldn't hesitate to, if they got invited to go skydiving or go do bungee jumping or whatever. You might be more reserved. You're going to be more wanting to think about that more. And so I think your person is reflecting to you. And especially if your person kind of annoys you with this kind of erratic behavior, it's triggering you in that maybe you need to start looking at your life in that kind of way, where you start deciding to put down some wands and start living life, start participating in life, because life isn't just supposed to be about working and being responsible and then you die. Like, life is meant to be way more meaningful than that. And so when you think about desire, think about light and dark and, happiness and sadness, and how those two things work with each other in order to figure out what is more valuable, or what taps into your desire more. And whatever taps into your desire is really how you should follow things in your life. Like, what, I want to start playing, I want to learn how to play the ukulele, or I want to learn how to play the flute, or I've always wished I could play the piano, but I'm too old for it. I'm too busy for it. Like, no, just like figure that shit out. Okay, you want to do that? Go ahead, figure it out. How can you take classes? What can you let go of right now for a few months so that you can take up and learn how to play piano, or whatever the case. And that same energy goes right into the Knight of Swords. This is almost polar energies, right? So you have the Knight of Swords that goes in like a wrecking ball. Think fast. He's the first troop on the ground with the guns. He's the infantry. He's the ones he's gonna be handling the shit. Okay, whatever needs to be done, he's gonna be right there, ready to serve, ready to do it. Whereas the Eight of Cups energy is like, I don't know. Let me look at these cups. Let me see how I feel about it. I gotta figure this out first before I make a decision. So it's like two different energies. And so if you're wondering, again, one aspect of why maybe you guys are opposite but drawn to each other is that in life, yes, walking away from things that do not serve you is a good practice to have, for sure. But sometimes, well, I would say, first of all, not just sometimes, I would say first you need to ask yourself what is triggering you from walking away in the first place. So is it because of fear? Are you afraid of what maybe that particular situation or emotion is going to bring out in you? Are you afraid or feel as if you're already presuming what it's going to turn out like because all you know is what you've been through, which is really backwards. It's almost like, looking at history in order to know how to make the first step forward. There would never be any kind of invention or any kind of new technology if we only looked backwards, right? Like, it takes innovation and being fearless in order somebody to take the first step forward in order to grow and expand and have new ideas and new discoveries, right? And you have that. But I think that you have that, I think you're kind of picky with when you decide to have that kind of moving forward energy, I think you're a little bit more picky about when that happens. So that's where you guys do work together well, because you can empathize with that. You can look at that energy and be like, I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like. You just can't have it all the time because you have your preconceived ideas about what horrible the bad outcomes could be instead of thinking of what the great outcomes could be. And it's interesting that you have the Ten of Cups under the Eight of Wands, because this Eight of Wands is here you guys really match each other's energy. So let's say you guys have a equal love of travel. you guys are going to be great travel buddies. You guys are going to be able to like kick ass. So one of you always has the doesn't forget the tickets. The other one always books the hotel. The other one always knows where the restaurants are. The other one knows where all the adventure, parks are, or whatever. Like, you guys really balance each other out in this regard. And that's why this relationship works. But I think where you bump heads is this, you really being called, wanting to be pulled back and be so responsible. And your person just wanting to get you out of that so that you can just really, really participate in life more. And your person really challenges you with how reserved you are about sharing your heart and giving your heart. Now, your person is interesting in that he does have, he or she, it's not gender, it's energy, I feel. There's no gender in tarot. When I say he, she, blah, blah, it's not what you think it is. It's not sex. The Knight of Pentacles for me has always been a knight that is, yes, they are a young knight, but they're a mature knight. They're a knight that's trustworthy. They're a knight that, yeah, he kind of takes his time a little bit, but he knows he's not going to make a dumb move. He's going to plan before he moves forward, which is the opposite a little bit of this energy. So I think in the manners of the heart, because this is coming after the Ten of Cups, your person, when it comes to the matter of the heart, you guys do match in that you are more reserved. But I think you're the darker side of it, so dark and light. If you want to talk about polarity and stuff, it's like this person, your person, has a very positive feeling about this connection and about the outcome of this connection. You have a more reserved, cautious outlook. So I think of like the Ten of Cups with your person as like a brand new puppy that is just absolutely in love with the person that their new forever home, and you're like the older rescue dog. I hate to say that. I don't mean to like insult you. I'm just saying you've seen some shit. You're a little bit more reserved about giving your heart, and your person is just like that rambunctious little puppy ready to go. But they do try to make an effort to refrain from just, they hold back, I think. They hold back because they know where you stand with things. So as far as you guys working together, I think this is a really good match because you guys have this lust, wanderlust, or let's say whatever you guys connect on, whatever level that is, whether you're both readers or you're both love to go do triathlons together, or you guys are, love to travel, or just are you movie buffs? You just like to be in bed all the time, watch movies or whatever. You guys are very, very complementary there with each other. But in these other, you still have things you guys can help each other with. You can help your person kind of slow down a little bit, maybe take on a little bit more responsibility so that you could weigh this flighty energy down a little bit so that there's more substance there, more, not substance, but more, just a more stable foundation for your person. And they will help you to let go a little bit. Let go and live life a little bit. Don't be so uptight about things here. About life and about what all that means. And life is just complicated overall. But to definitely live life more fully, following your desire more fully, looking forward to the future instead of looking down at whatever responsibilities you have in front of you and not really living life. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's ask one more question here. So that's the dynamic here. So for pile one, let's see. Kind of want to do like a love message situation. Let me see. I have this tiny little deck here. I'm just feeling called to do a little love reading, little love messages from a person, since this was all about the dynamics between you guys and personality differences and all of that. I'm sorry I called you a pound puppy, but it's kind of what I'm feeling pound puppy energy from you, pile one. But what messages does pile one's person have for them? Pile one's person, messages Love messages from pile one's person. You are mine forever and ever. So that's that. That's that pound puppy. Not pound puppy, the little rambunctious young puppy energy right there. All in love. I need some more time before I can come to you. Interesting. That is your energy right there with the 8 of Cups. I need more time. Totally is you see where I'm coming from with the dynamic there. I need to sort things out before I can come to you. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the 10 of Wands. So maybe this is a dynamic, like this is, you know, who this person is. You feel very drawn to this person, and you're the one putting the brakes on whether this connection is going to be, you know, the direction of this connection. Is it moving forward or not? It feels like with these 2 cards, it might not be moving as fast as your person would like. You light up my world. Definitely. Let's see what else we can get here. Will you help me? So maybe you guys have had the conversation of, I'll put that right here. The conversation of where one or both of you have recognized these opposite natures that you have. And maybe you've had the conversation of like, you know, we are different. I got to figure this out. I don't know how to be like you. And that shouldn't ever be the goal, is to be like your person, but to open your mind enough to see how the characteristics that because you guys both have the same characteristics, but they've both kind of morphed into the opposite things because they've been kind of trained that way with the way the life has really affected you. You know, when you have two plants that are the same type of plant, and you have one that is leaning up against lattice and another one that has a rigid pole that it's leaning up against, they're both going to grow in different directions, but they're still the same plant. And I think that that's kind of where you guys are at right now, and learning how to just take some advice or some of the things that you see in your person and kind of weave that into your life. Because you already have it, it's already at your core. You're not trying to be somebody different. You're trying to open up doors that you've closed or that have been closed based on, you know, just social constructs of how you were raised. I want to fall asleep next to you. Maybe you guys don't live together. I wish you were mine. Oh, your person loves you. Your person really, really, really wants to be a part of your life. A couple more messages. That's that the King of Swords energies right here. I don't want to wait any longer. Please be mine. Like, right now. We'll take these last 2. I'm tired of running. That feels like your energy, pile 1. I remember the day we met like it was yesterday. I think that's kind of like you. I think that you hold back, and maybe your person might not be quite sure that you want to go take this to the next level as far as commitment's concerned, but you do definitely have intense feelings, and the intense feelings could be scary, and that's why you need to feel the need to kind of like be reserved and hold back. Wait, let's think about this, you know, kind of thing. Wait, hold on, because these things need to work out before this happens. When honestly, it doesn't. You know, it really doesn't. You're acting on fear. I've learned for myself, fear is you going back in your brain. Your brain is looking for information that tells it it's safe to walk ahead. But let's say it's a new road, you've never been there. The only thing your brain has to look at is other mistakes or times that you fell or times that you went in the wrong direction. And so the feed loop back is always going to be negative when it's something new, because it's new. You don't have any experience in that direction. So the only way to really strive forward and grow and expand is to do those new things, is to dive deep, is to do something you wouldn't normally do, is to do something unpredictable, or against what people would say is your nature. Because then you build new information in your brain, then you build new experiences, and then you're going to have a whole new idea or a whole new outlook when you approach something else that's new. Then you'll be like, well, I remember when I tried that, I was scared to try it, and I did it even though I wasn't ready and I couldn't plan for it, and I ended up having an amazing time, or it ended up being a really incredible connection. Then you have that to build upon. And so all of the negativity starts kind of dwindling down when it comes to trying new things or going and diving into a new experience or a new connection with people. So I'll leave that there because we could go on and on. But anyway, pile one, thank you for coming by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for, if you enjoyed this, please, like and hit the like button and subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. Like I said, I'll put my email in the description box. So if you are interested in a personal reading, we can chit chat about that. All right. Thank you again for stopping by. I wish you the best. Bye. Okay, pile two. You picked the Horror Tarot. Let's check it out. So it's kind of my first time doing this kind of dynamic where I'm doing not just a focused reading on your person, but it's going to be the connection that you both have. So it's going to have energy, your energy and your person's energy. So the first pile didn't turn out too bad. A lot of stuff came out. It was kind of interesting to see laid out the polarity or duality that two people can have together. I think, is pretty fascinating, I have to say. So let's see what is going on with you and your person, okay? Let's see here. So what is the energy? Okay. Okay, so your person, your person. Four of Swords, the Magician. You have two major arcanas here. And the Seven of Wands. Okay. So your person is got a big personality. Your person might be somebody who served in the military for many, many years, like career military, high, CEO of a job, or has a position that is very high in whatever kind of category. Like, let's say if it's construction, he owns the whole company. If it is the hospital, he's not just a doctor, he works in the ICU or cardiac thoracic surgeon or neurosurgeon or something like that. This person has a high level of, they could be an entrepreneur, somebody that has a high level of going against the norm. So the first card we have is the Tower card. So this is cool because all of the cards here look like horror movie posters is what they look like. Like here it says, they were young and healthy and wealthy and beautiful and in love until tonight. So, but the Tower it is a card about breaking down. It could be their social norms, just kind of constructs of your reality, of whatever that might be, the reality of what you thought relationships should be, what you thought, what a business model should be, or what this should be, or whatever. It's basically taking that and breaking it down, so that something can be brought to light. So your person in their everyday life is kind of like a tower. And it's funny because I've been told that, where I'm kind of like the tower in some regards, because let's say I'll have a conversation with someone and I'm not afraid to tell the truth. So if I spot something, someone's maybe sharing something and confiding in me, I'm not going to be afraid to tell them maybe something that they need to hear that might be hard to hear. And then I kind of walk away and I don't see them again, or, there's just these chance meetings that I have with people. And then I'll see them later and they're like, I remember that one time we talked and you said this and this and that, or, your person might be that kind of person that is just not abrasive, but can easily just tell the truth. And it doesn't matter if they're talking to the Pope or they're talking to the janitor. It doesn't matter. They are going to be the same intensity everywhere they go. They don't dim their light or water things down for anyone in their life. They do take time out. They might be an omnivert, so they might be somebody that is out. Actually, didn't they just come out in psychology? Psychologists just came out with a new term, which I think the public already did it, but because we already kind of like psychoanalyzed ourselves during COVID. But like, there's the extrovert, then there's the introvert, right? And then there's the person in the middle, and I want to say they call it an outrovert, but it's somebody who equally likes to be the life of the party, go out and, always want to have interaction and feels good with that, but also needs to have time to themselves and be a recluse sometimes and not be around anyone. So your person, I think, has that kind of dynamic, because we have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is all about, taking time out for yourself to reflect, to grow, to maybe take on a new direction. It's kind of like taking a sabbatical, like for a professor or something like that, or clergyman, like where you pull back from society and from social interactions so that you can regroup and just get inspired again, I suppose, to do it all over again, right? And then we have the Magician, which is energy that it's a major arcana, and this is basically, like it says, he holds the power of all the elements, and the plan is in his hand. So basically, that's exactly what the Magician is. It is, he has all the elements, knows how to work with all the tools he has in front of him, and is able to really manifest his own reality. I think this is the entrepreneur of tarot there, the person that sees what they have in front of them and goes and makes something happen. And people might think it's a little delulu, right? To like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a karaoke business. I'm going to buy the speakers. I'm going to buy the catalog of songs, and I'm going to start going to clubs or bars every weekend. This is what I'm going to do. Totally changing direction, just deciding that that's what they want to do as a hobby. That would be something that the Magician would do, just like out of nowhere, but not a bad idea, like a pretty solid idea. It's not going to be something that is whimsical in the way that it would crumble and it wasn't planned out. Like, this is definitely planned out, but not afraid to take chances on things. And then we have this Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands, it says like trapped, but who is the monster, right? Some people see this card as a card about being defensive, but I see it as a card of, yes, defensive, but not necessarily to people in their lives, but maybe defensive to higher ideas about life. Defensive, maybe your person might be an agnostic, or somebody who is an atheist, or somebody who has lots of passions about the government, or the passions about politics or science or religion or whatever the case may be. But it's about standing alone in front of many other people. But there are different tarot decks that talk about in the Seven of Wands that the reason why the person is alone, and the reason why that person isn't afraid of being alone, is because the universe is backing them up. They know that they have this, higher belief system behind why they feel so passionate, and they are not afraid to stand alone in their belief. Okay? So this is a very dynamic person that you're dealing with here. So let's look at you, pile 2. Let's see. Tell me about who pile 2 is. Goodness gracious. Okay. Sorry. It's not about you. It's about my eyesight. All right. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, wow. We got 2 queens here. So this connection might be, feminine connection, or I had the thought of maybe it's 3 people, but I don't think so. But you might have, just how your person has this kind of duality of the Tower and the 4 of Swords. I think that you have a duality in you, in that you can be very truthful. With the Queen of Swords, and then you have the Queen of Wands, which is a completely opposite type of energy. Okay, so to start off, we have the 10 of Swords. Ten of Swords or 7 of Swords? Oh, this is the 7 of Swords. Good Lord. Okay. This is the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords in tarot is usually a card that speaks about deception, betrayal, hiding truths, not being honest. Hiding your thoughts and feelings. It doesn't have to be feelings, but hiding your judgments or your thoughts that you have about people. That could be relationships that you have. It could be coworkers. It could be, you might be somebody who is, I wonder if you're a water sign. I feel like I'm getting this feeling that you are a more watery, able to change in whatever situation that you're put in. So like, let's say you would call yourself someone who's not a social person, but if you're put in a situation where you have to be social, you excel. Nobody would guess that you are an introvert. If you're put in a situation where suddenly you have to, the keynote speaker isn't coming in and you've got to kind of like, burn some time at the mic, you suddenly are able to talk people's ear off and do really well. You're able to read a room really well. And you have a lot of talents that you do not share. And you surprise people when you come out able to perform in those kind of ways. So, and I think that also, I think something that you're weak in, that you're both weak in, is emotions. So I see like a power couple here. I see like, okay, so we have the 7 of Swords. I think that's that height, like you have the 7 of Swords next to the Wheel of Fortune, okay? And Wheel of Fortune is usually, depending on what card is behind it or in front of it, when we're talking about when we're not talking about personality, it's about the winds of change going in one direction or the other. Improving, not improving, fortune or having poverty, that kind of thing. But I think here, when we have like the deceptive idea. And deceptive has a negative connotation, but I just think a hidden, let's just say the word hidden. The hidden aspects of you are able to go back and forth with this Wheel of Fortune. And you're both queens here. So you have the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is, like it says here, it's like confidence, independence, you're determined, you're courageous. She doesn't look so pretty here, but usually she's depicted by, being a very beautiful woman. You're able to charm the pants off of everyone. Everyone looks at you and they just think that you're so gorgeous, you're so intelligent, you're so just courageous and have so many qualities. You hold a lot of qualities that people envy. But along with that, you have the Queen of Swords, so you're able to be very truthful. Sometimes cold. You seem aloof sometimes. Sometimes you're not. You might be a Gemini or a Libra. You might present as one astrological sign and then kind of go right into another, depending on the day and how you're feeling and what the circumstances are. So as far as you and your person and how you guys work together, it does feel like a power couple. I feel like when it comes to the Tower and the Queen of Swords, you guys really match each other there. I think when you have someone like your person who's willing to tell the truth, like you have somebody that can, for example, break something down, you need somebody that can then build things back up. And I think with your honesty and your truth, with being the Queen of Swords, you're able to do that. I think the one way that you help your person with the Four of Swords, the Four of Swords is quiet, stagnant energy. There's nothing happening here. There's nothing moving. And I think with you having the Wheel of Fortune, you can ruminate over something and try to be making decisions and multitask and still continue to have movement going on in your life, no matter where that is. Like if you guys are, let's say you guys work together and you guys have a business you're running. Your person might retreat for a couple of days because they had like a really tough weekend with, let's say they were selling houses and they were busy and they did make those deals, but now they're like always, every time that happens, you don't talk to them for a couple of days. Whereas you can continue on doing your shit and talk. That might be something that annoys you about your person, that they're MIA for 2 days and like, why can't you just like suck it up and just keep on going, I think for the Queen of Wands, this Magician and the Queen of Wands is interesting because this is that manifestation, that moving creativity, yes, definitely. I really feel entrepreneur really strong with you guys. I think that you can be a little bit more flighty. I think that your person here wants to be more focused, going down the rabbit hole of whatever that project is, and you're kind of wanting to just, like, for example, let's say you guys are business partners and you guys went to Vegas for your business meeting, a big conference you're having. Your person's home doing the PowerPoints, right? And you're like waiting for them to be finished so you guys can go gambling or go to that concert you've been waiting to go to. But you've already done your homework. Like, it's not like you're not like riding on the coattails of this person. You've already done the work because you're a queen. You've already put that shit together. But you've done it independently. And you already know what your talking points are, and you're just waiting for this person to get their shit together so you guys can go have fun. So that, in that way, I think you guys can balance each other out, where, maybe walk a little of the walk with this person a little bit more and not be so determined to pull them away, because there is a lot to learn about that, because when the Magician does put everything together, it is a cohesive project that is not missing anything. Whereas you might have all the major points and you go up there by the, you fly by the seat of your pants and you just have your little outline subjects and then you just go up there and talk. That's a nice thing to do, and that's a very charismatic thing to be able to do. And not very many people can do it. But it doesn't mean it can't have a little bit more bones to it, a little bit more framework to it, a little bit more, continuity to bring that point home, or whatever the case may be. So, interestingly, like I said, I think you guys definitely are like a power couple. You have the opposite here, too, of both sevens. You have the Seven of Wands and you have the Seven of Swords. So I think this is the trigger point for you guys. This is the part that gets you guys fucked up. Because your person is in this energy of being defensive. And you're in this energy of like, you know what? Whether you like it or not, I'm going to do what I want. I'll find a way. You don't need to know all the details. And this is the triggering point. This is what pisses your person off and what pisses you off. This can be something that can get in the way of this connection if you let it. So I would say the way that you could work that out, well, instead of me saying it, let's see what the universe says about that. Because I feel like this wasn't in pile one. In pile one, I didn't have, they really balanced each other out, I have to say. But here I see an opposition, but where both of you can dig your heels into this situation with the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Wands. That's where that hard-headedness can get in there, and you guys won't want to work things out. So what advice do you have for the Seven of Wands and Seven of Swords for pile two? Huh! The Knight of Swords. Well, that didn't help that much, but let's see. Tell us more. What advice do you have for those? Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is the energy I'm talking about. So you have this polarizing energy here. You have like one side of the magnet going this way with the Seven of Swords. You're trying to break out, feeling defensive. So the Seven of Swords, I'm sorry, Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords over here, being secretive, quiet, maybe betrayal, working behind the scenes, keeping secrets. The advice that you have is the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So the Knight energy is a younger energy. It is a playful energy in that, not like a page, not like a childlike play, but it is like, the Knight of Swords is like a wrecking ball. It comes in charging. But he doesn't hide who he is. He doesn't hide what he's doing. He comes right on in, and you see him coming, you hear the horse, everything is out in the open. And he's going fucking head first, right there, like right into battle, charging into battle. That's the Knight of Swords. Then you have this grounding energy of the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is an energy of independence, but also luxury, decadence, financial freedom. It's kind of the idea of like, you're single, you're able to just live your life without burden. There's no burdens, there's no fighting, there's calmness and security there. There's financial security there. There's security in yourselves. And so to combat this, because both of these energies here are born of fear, either hiding or betrayal for fear of being found out, of maybe who you really are, being vulnerable, showing who you are as a person, faults and all, or your person not feeling like they have to be on the defensive all the time. Feeling like you have to defend yourself means that you're afraid of being attacked, right? This is all about bravery and security. So being brave to be honest with each other, like all this Tower energy, and you got the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, all this energy about being honest and forthcoming with other things in your life, like your business or other people that you are dealing with. But when it comes to you guys, to each other, you're like oil and water. And the universe is like saying, no, stop it. Stop being afraid to have those vulnerable interactions with each other. Stop it. Because through those being completely honest and vulnerable and your most authentic self with your person is going to bring this grounding. And that's what you guys need, is you need grounding, the earth energy. There's no earth here. We have air, we don't even have water. We have air and fire. I mean, all the elements are here, but we need this grounding energy. And if it does ring true for most of you that you guys are entrepreneurs and this is a business partner, that's where you're going to have success with your company. That's where the success is going to be, in the partnership. Like, let's say you have a deal that you guys are working on and you're feeling very opposites. Your person's feeling defensive and you're feeling like, you know what, I'm just going to do it without him knowing it. He's not going to know. Instead of you doing that, because I think this is reactionary, I would say that you, Pile 2, have more time to have that afterthought, the forethought of being like, okay, let's try it this time. This time I'm going to be more honest about really what I want to do, what I want to say about this particular thing. And just be honest. Come in like the Knight of Swords, open, vulnerable, purposeful. And say, hey, this is why I'm afraid of this direction that you want to go. And you never know that this person might be like, wow, that was really honest of you to say. And they're going to appreciate it because of the Tower. They already know what that honesty's like. They already know what it means. They appreciate that. They'll make note of that. They'll recognize that because they have that already in their own character. Because you are both a lot of like in that way. And slowly but surely you're going to come into this more solid, secure energy. Financial, freedom energy. Where the trust is there between you both. And then the world is your oyster. Then, there's nothing that's going to stop you guys. So this feels like a platonic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. So I wanted to do message cards, but now I'm feeling like the message cards are, I don't know, let's try it. Okay, so I got this new deck. No, I'm not going to use this. This new deck is called Oh Hell No. So it's like it's kind of like a deck that you use for connections that are where someone's being taken advantage of and all of that, or they feel like they're in love, but the person's not communicating back, non-reciprocal kind of energy. So I'm going to still use these love oracles, but let's see if they can work for business. Or like I said, it could be you could be a married couple that have a business together, so who knows. So let's see. What messages from Pile 2? From Pile 2's person, please. What messages can you give me from Pile 2's person? Okay. Our love is eternal. So, the idea that they feel like this bond connection that you have can go places. There's hope in its survival. Just because you guys have these strong characters that clash sometimes, your person believes that this connection still has a lot of power and has the lasting power that it needs. Again, you're mine forever and ever. It says the same thing. Our paths will always reunite. So if there have been conversations about we're having so much opposition here that maybe it's best that we do kind of separate. I think that your person here feels like, well, even if we have to take time away, we're always going to come back to each other. We're supposed to have this lifetime together in some kind of way. Whether it's in a partnership, whether it's in a business ship, whatever, the case may be. They feel like this is an important connection that they don't want to let go of. Tell me more for Pile 2. Now is not the time. Okay, so that could be relating to either an idea that has been brought forward or something that has been discussed. that one of you, that might be on the table right now, that you guys have had a conversation about. Like, let's say you're having an idea of taking this business in a different direction, or the relationship in a different direction. Your person's wanting more time, which speaks to the Four of Swords that your person has in their character, of just wanting to take a moment. Not, they don't want to jump off right away. Will you help me? See, that's the humility that I was talking about with you having the moment to say, okay, instead of me doing something behind their back, let me just be honest about why I'm afraid about this thing that we're talking about, this decision that needs to be made. Being humble and saying, I see that you're really good at fighting for yourself and you do it out loud. Can you teach me? Can you give me some tips on that? Because I think I can be better. And relationships, it's all about that. It's all about real being humble. It's kind of like, you know how there's some people that can laugh at themselves and some people that cannot take a fucking joke. And it's like the people that can laugh at themselves, you have that humility, like, we're all human, we're all funny, we're all not perfect. You know, like, you're not always going to have all the good ideas, and neither is this person, pile to your person. But having the humility of that, you know, you can learn from each other, is going to make it that much more better, right? It's going to bring that solid, grounded, trustworthy energy into the connection. One more. Message from pile 2. I miss you, but I don't have time right now. That could be why you always feel like you have to do things on your own or behind their back, because they're busy. They're always busy. And maybe that's something that your person can learn from you. This Wheel of Fortune energy is about going in one direction or the other, always being able to move. And when someone says, I miss you, but I don't have time right now, it is almost, depending on the context and how it triggers the person, it could feel like, if you really missed me, you'd make time for me. Right? But that all depends on the context, right? Because if you guys are both busy people, you might be like, oh, okay, see, I thought you just didn't like me, or you wanted to break up this connection. Like, maybe you took it from 0 to 100, and your person's like, no, I miss you too. I just happen to be busy. And since you're a busy person, you can relate to that. So it just, it all depends. Let's do 2 more, I guess. Exactly 2 more. What is the point of it all? And I can't right now. Wow, that's a lot of I can't energy. Maybe if you're, pile 2, if you're watching this, maybe you're the one having a lot of questions about this connection. Your person feels to me like they're overwhelmed about something. I'm not sure what that is. But when I think of what's the point of it all, it almost feels like they've been working on something very hard and feel pessimistic about the outcome. Either maybe they feel pessimistic about this situation. Maybe they're like, there isn't a way out of it. Like, I guess we're both just too different. And the universe is not saying that. The universe is just saying there needs to be more humility in this connection so that you guys can appreciate your differences and use them to your highest good. Really. So, all right, I'm going to leave it here, pile 2. Please, if you enjoyed this, if you could subscribe or like or comment. If you have an idea for a different reading, let me know in the comments. You can email me if you're interested in a personal reading. And I will put my information in the description box. All right? So thank you so much, and until next time. Bye.